Welcome back to Everyday Eats with Michelle. Today we're talking burgers. Specifically, my mushroom bacon burger with sriracha lime mayo. This thing is ridiculously tasty. Let's get started. First up, our sriracha lime mayo, and it's really just as easy as it sounds. You need those three things plus a little bit of salt and pepper. So to a small bowl, we're going to add about a quarter cup of mayonnaise. You might need more, you might need less, depending upon how much sauce you need for however many burgers you're cooking today. To that, we'll add in the juice of half a lime. Again, adjust your quantities depending upon how much sauce you're going to be making. Give it a stir to get everything combined. We're looking for a consistency that's pourable but not runny. If you take it a little too far, don't worry, just add in a little bit more mayonnaise. If it's not quite pourable enough, add in a little bit more lime juice. Once you have it to where you want it, we'll add our heat with a little bit of sriracha. Give it a few squirts, and then stir it in to combine it. I can tell from the color that this isn't going to be where I want it. I've made this a few times, so I know what I'm looking for. You're going to rely on taste. Add in a few squirts, stir it, taste it. If it's not spicy enough yet, you're going to add in a little bit more sriracha. If it's a little bit too spicy, just add in a little bit more mayonnaise to calm down that spice. Give it a stir, check your consistency, make sure everything is where you want it, and then we'll season it with a tiny little bit of salt and an even tinier bit of pepper. Give it a stir, and then we can set that aside in the fridge and move on to our bacon. In a large skillet over medium-high heat, you're going to cook up whatever you think is your most favoriteest type of bacon. For me, that's applewood smoked bacon. I like to flip it a couple times just to ensure even cooking. You're going to let this go until you reach your desired level of crispiness. For me, this is looking pretty good right now, so I'm going to remove those to a paper towel to help them soak up some of the extra grease. I'm going to save some of the grease from the pan to help us cook our mushrooms. So in that same hot pan, we're going to add in 2 large portobello mushrooms. I've removed the stems and gills and cut them into these large chunks. Give them a stir to get them all coated in that wonderful bacon fat. It's going to add some fantastic flavor. And then we'll add just a touch of sea salt to help pull out some of that extra moisture from our mushrooms. We're looking for something a little bit like this. Our mushrooms have darkened in color, they've reduced in size a little bit and softened. We can pull these out, again, put them on a paper towel to soak up some of the extra grease, and then we can go ahead and start building our patties. So in a large bowl, we've got 1 pound of ground beef. To that, I'm going to add a little bit of sea salt and black pepper, probably about a 1/4 teaspoon of each, and then a few shakes of adobo, maybe a 1/4 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon at most. We'll follow that up with our sauteed mushrooms, and then we're going to add in 4 ounces of goat cheese. I like to break it up a little bit as I add it in so it's not just sitting in one big giant clump, makes it easier to mix in later. And then we're going to add in 2 full strips of bacon. Just tear it up with your hands. You don't need to pull out a knife to get this done. If there's any pieces that you think are still too big, just reach in and tear them up a little more. And then it's time to just get your hands dirty, get in there and start mixing things together. You want to make sure that your ingredients are evenly distributed throughout your beef as best you can. You don't want any big pockets of mushrooms or bacon or cheese. Try to get it all evenly distributed throughout your beef. And then I've weighed out 4 5-ounce patties. Yes, I weighed it because I'm not good at eyeballing this kind of stuff. I've also tried to make sure that my patties are around the same size as my bun. It just makes things a whole lot easier later. And as you can see, they're not crazy thick, so it's not going to take a ton of time to cook these. I've preheated my grill press to 400 degrees. You can cook these up on a regular grill if you like. I just don't happen to have one. So I'm going to load my patties into my grill press, close my top plate so it makes nice contact with my burgers. I don't want to squish them, but I do need to have good contact if I want to get those grill marks. We'll let that go for about 2 to 2.5 minutes at the most. We're looking for something a little bit like this. We've got some nice grill marks. It still looks pretty juicy. I'm going to head and pull these off, set them on a plate and let them rest for a few minutes, and then we can start assembling our burger. I've gone ahead and toasted my bun just a little bit. I like the extra added texture that it gives. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. First thing you are going to do is add some of that sriracha lime mayo to both the bottom and the top bun. I know lots of people who will just put the sauce on the bottom and call it a day, and I don't fully get that because I want to add as much flavor as I can where I can. So I'm going to do both the bottom and the top bun, and so are you. Next up is our burger patty. Looks like it actually fits pretty nicely on my bun. I like it. Then we'll add in our goat cheese. I like to spread it just right across the top bun. It does not matter that it gets a little bit messy in with the sauce. Totally fine. Once you have as much cheese as you like, we're going to add in those 2 full strips of bacon. Now I know we could just go ahead and tear one of these strips in half and it would fit perfectly fine and cover our burger perfectly well. But I mean, this is bacon we're talking about. Bacon is good, so you're going to use those 2 full strips. And then if you're like me, I like things a little bit extra cheesy, so I'm going to add a little bit more goat cheese to the top of my bacon. Final step, we'll drizzle some more of that beautiful sriracha lime mayo all over the top. A little bit extra saucy, a little bit extra cheesy, never hurt anybody, so just go ahead and do it. Once you've got as much on there as you like, you can close it up with that top bun, give it a little squish. Ooh, did you see that? Look at those beautiful juiciness coming off of that burger. I think this is going to be good. And that's it. That is our mushroom bacon burger with goat cheese and sriracha lime mayo. I guess I should probably cut this open so we can see what it looks like inside. Fair warning, I've never been really consistent with getting things medium rare and having pink in the middle, but I have a feeling this is still going to be a really juicy burger based on that last shot. So let's see what's going on. Looking pretty good, and I can still see my bacon, I can see my mushrooms, the tanginess of the goat cheese, the bright acidity of that sriracha lime mayo makes this the go-to burger for any of your long weekend barbecue plans you got coming up. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Please consider hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.